suitcase,
or backpack, we're gonna go over which one's best for you for traveling.
We're Kyle and Jess, and we've been traveling for over 2 years now, and today we aim to answer that question for you as we speak on our experience as full-time travelers who have extended experience using both suitcases and backpacks.
We'll go over the pros and cons that you may not have considered before, and we'll go over personally which luggage we love and why.
Yeah, and we'll also go over some of the features we look for in each form of luggage to make sure that you can make the best decision possible. Now, just so you're aware, before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Level 8, but they've given us full creative freedom so that we can give you the most honest review possible. Let's get into it.
First off, it's packing. Now, backpacks can be pretty awkward and a bit difficult to unpack and repack. Now, that's true for two reasons. First, backpacks are a bit of an odd shape. They're almost like a tube shape, and this makes packing certain items a bit awkward. There's difficulty to utilize all of the space. And second, backpacks have relatively small openings at the top of the bag. Now, you want to find a bag that has multiple openings. Now, if you have all of your important stuff at the bottom of the bag, that's going to be really difficult to be fast and effective to grab what you need. So you want to find a backpack that has bottom openings and middle compartment openings.
Yeah, and now the shape of a suitcase, on the other hand, can definitely make packing a lot easier. First off, you can open it all the way up, making it so that you have full access to everything. Secondly, it's also rectangular shape, which most of your packing items will be rectangle shape too. Whether it be folded clothes or a packing cube, toiletry bags, most things have that same shape, so it's a little bit easier to kind of utilize the space more effectively. Now, one thing that the backpack does have over the suitcase, however, is with the suitcase, you are limited to just what's inside the suitcase. Whereas with backpacks, you're able to strap things to the outside, and if you have a proper kind of casing for the backpack, it's still able to utilize that outside space when you're traveling on an airplane. In our most recent travels, we actually both bought a big yoga mat. I had to somehow fit it in this suitcase, whereas with Jess, she was able to just strap it on top of the backpack and then cover it with a rain cover, and we had no problems there. And so there is some pros and cons, a little bit of give and take when it comes to packing. Really comes down to what it is you're going to be carrying with you. Now, obviously, if you're traveling, you're going to need to consider getting around from place to place. And whether or not you're going to want a backpack or a suitcase, you kind of want to consider the terrain a little bit.
Yeah. With backpacks, it's definitely more of an adventure kind of holiday because you're going to be able to walk, travel, throw it on your back, throw it over in a car or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, and with the backpack, you do need to get one that's properly fitted so you're not hurting your back, but if you do, it's going to really help you out getting around on some rougher terrain. Now, with a suitcase, if you're just kind of wheeling around the airport and whatnot, obviously it's going to be a little bit more convenient because you're not going to have to carry anything on your back. You can just push it around. In fact, that's one of my favorite features of the Level 8 suitcase is the wide handle that comes with this check-in bag. It makes it so that it's a little bit better center of gravity, and you can just push it with 2 fingers and get right along instead of having all 40-50 pounds on your back like you would with a backpack.
All right, so security. So there are a couple elements that you need to think about with a backpack. First, there is no lock on it. So if anyone had the opportunity, they can easily get into a backpack and steal your stuff if they had the opportunity. However, if you put your backpack down, it's really hard to steal a backpack because they're so heavy. So I would say you would see someone coming if you were keeping an eye on it.
However, with suitcases, they often come with a TFSA approved lock, and so you're able to keep your valuables locked up and secure while traveling. And so really you just need to keep an eye on them when you put them down because they're very easy to just kind of snatch and grab and run away with. But while they are with security or whatnot, you're going to feel a little bit more peace of mind because of those TFSA locks.
Which gets into valuables. Now, with a backpack, it's not a hard shell like a suitcase, so you're not going to be able to put anything valuable that is breakable, such say if you had some sort of glass or even your drone can break in there.
Electronics.
Yeah, you got to be really careful what you're kind of smushing down in a backpack.
Yeah, and although you can, with the higher end backpacks, find some waterproof materials and whatnot, a lot of suitcases are waterproof, and so you're going to feel a little bit more secure about your electronic valuables and whatnot with a suitcase, at least we do.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk weight and size. Obviously, while you're traveling, weight is a huge factor, especially when traveling with airlines. The typical standard is 22 kilograms limit, and so with the suitcase that can be much heavier, it can restrict the things that you can take with you, and with a backpack, it's considerably lighter material, so you might get away with a little bit more weight in that regard. One little travel tip that we want to bring up though is in our most recent flight, we didn't read the fine print. We strongly suggest you do, because we were dinged with a massive fee because the limit was considerably less.
Yeah, it was only 10 kilograms, which is close to actually just a carry-on suitcase. So when we rolled up with these bad boys, we were dinged with a huge bill.
Yeah, $200. If you don't want that to happen to you, make sure to read the fine print, make sure that your luggage is below it. In fact, we would recommend getting yourself a luggage scale. A little tiny spring-loaded luggage scale can easily fit in either a suitcase or a backpack, and make sure you're within that weight limit. All right, now usage. This is one thing where the suitcase maybe loses a little bit. With a suitcase, it's really only got one use, and that's traveling long distances.
Yeah, with a backpack, there's multi-uses for it. You can use it for your trip, obviously, but then if you're going hiking or to the gym, we use it when we do our short vacations because you can just throw everything in it and we're good to go.
And an obvious factor that everyone's going to consider when purchasing luggage is price. Now, when you're sacrificing price, you're really going to want to consider some of the features that you'll be sacrificing as well.
Yeah, to get a good quality backpack, they can actually be rather expensive. Backpacks can go up to like $800. We actually spent a good $400 on this backpack, and you want to make sure that it's actually fitted to you.
Yeah, if it's not properly fitted, you can have issues with your back, you can have issues with your shoulders. I have real bad issues with my shoulders with my other backpack. And so you really want to make sure that it's fitted properly, and to do so you need to pay a considerable amount to make sure that you get just the right backpack for you.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to suitcases, some of the things you'll see that aren't of best quality with the budget level suitcases is the zipper is maybe going to fall apart, the wheels tend to fall off or fall apart, and just altogether the quality of the material isn't that great, and you're not going to get some of the better features that you want. Now with Level 8, we were actually quite surprised at a budget-friendly price that they were able to offer such things as the nice wide handle, really good sturdy wheels. There's a toiletry cubby inside the suitcase as well. Jess got a Grace carry-on bag that's got a nice laptop sleeve, and both of these bags were at a really reasonable price, and today we're able to drop that even further for you because Level 8 has offered a 10% discount code, which we'll have in the description down below for you.
Alright, and that brings us to our personal preference. What's yours?
Well, for me, I personally really liked when we partnered with Level 8 because I was already considering a suitcase myself. I got the backpack here before we left Canada a few months ago, thinking that, yeah, the convenience of rough terrain will be really nice to have, but I just didn't like having it on my shoulders all the time. I also carry my camera bag with me, so I had a backpack on the front, backpack on the back, and it was just a lot of weight to be carrying around, to be completely honest.
And I noticed, because we always have the camera out too, it's really difficult for us to film when we're really struggling with the backpack and the front backpack and then doing the camera. Like, it was a lot, and it was at times overwhelming. So I think the suitcase for you loved better because now you're able to just push along, you've got your one backpack, and now you can use the camera.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, hey, hands-free will be really good, but I had a backpack in the front and a backpack on the back weighing me back, and so it was not nearly as convenient as with the Level 8 bag here. The Level 8 suitcase, I know I've said it before, but the wide handles make it so easy to just push and wheel along, and that way I can focus more on filming while we're traveling, for sure.
Yeah, and so for me, I was kind of similar. I love a backpack because I'm so into just like squishing everything down and just throwing it on my back. But I did have two backpacks. I had the front backpack and the backpack too, and it was really difficult to carry everything because I've got the gimbals and the laptops. And so I found that I transitioned into the carry-on and the backpack, which is so much better. So now I have the backpack, but then I'm able to just wheel around my carry-on and it's no problem at all, and I'm not having this overwhelming weight on myself. So I think we're kind of a mixture of both.
It seems to be that for us, it really depends on the situation, but we've gotten to the point where we kind of like the combination, to be honest. And so that brings up an important point to end this off, is you really want to consider what it is that you're going to be doing with your travels, where you're going, what you're bringing, and what you might be doing along the way. If you need a laptop, or if you're going to be filming something yourself, you might want to go the combination route. If you're going to be just going through airports and hotels, Suitcase might be for you. And if you're going more, off the beaten path, doing a little bit more kind of hiking style traveling or jumping in the back of tuk-tuks and whatnot, the backpack might be the route for you.
Yeah.
Either way, we've got the discount code in the description down below for you if you're interested in checking out Level 8. And we'll also have a link for this backpack specifically, as well as some of the other travel accessories that make our traveling much easier. It'll all be found in the description below.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this video and got some valuable information from it, and I hope we helped you decide what you're going to use on your future travels.
Yeah, and considering you clicked on this video, you probably got a trip coming up soon, so we hope you enjoy. And until next time,
bye. Bye.